Yeah, look, it was a different Donald Trump who showed up last night. Disciplined, focused, optimistic. Contrast this tone with the dire picture that he painted in his inaugural speech. This was a tone that the Americans like to see in their president. Aspirational, positive, optimistic, describing big challenges, no doubt about it, describing grave problems that need to be addressed, but doing so in a tone of, in a spirit of optimism and looking forward. I thought it was a very good speech. I think Chris was absolutely right. This is the moment that Donald Trump truly became the president of the United States.
And I know that every president has a different way of bringing this together with a team, with speechwriters. Our understanding is that until the last minute they were tweaking. That's often the case. But the tone was so different. Do you think, and there's really no way for us to know yet, that there were different influences, writers, voices that were helping to put this together for him?
Well, it doesn't sound like there were a lot of different people putting this together compared to the inaugural speech. But look, they heard the response to the inaugural speech. Even their allies. I know people who are close to the president personally shared with him their belief that it was too dour, too dark, too pessimistic, too hard-edged, too harsh, and they urged him when he came to the state of the to speech to the joint session of Congress to take a more optimistic tone. And I think they listened to those critics and responded. I mean, the opening was, I thought, very artful. I was on a briefing call with senior White House officials, and they said, pay attention to the opening. We want to set a tone. We want to make it clear that we're reaching across the entire political spectrum, and we're trying to unify the country. And I thought that was well done. And then the close, I thought, was very good, to talk about the promise and optimism of what America could come as we come close to the celebration of our 250th anniversary as a nation.
Yeah, you mentioned the inaugural speech. The reaction to the two has been so markedly different. Do you think the administration, that the president, that will impact him moving forward? Because even his critics, people begrudgingly saying this morning, like, hey, it was his greatest speech, he was positive, he was upbeat, he was presidential. Do you think it will change the tone moving forward? We've only got one tweet from him this morning. It was all caps, thank you, and that's it. Do you think he'll respond to the positive reinforcement he got because of the speech?
Well, we've already seen it. I think that was direct response. I happened to be watching Fox and Friends, and he tweeted shortly after some comments were made in a very positive vein about what he said and did in that speech. So, yeah, look, success begets success. A president who sort of finds that if they hit their stride and people respond to it, we're likely to see more of that, and I hope we do. Because, look, even there are a group of people in America for whom he can never do any wrong. There are another group of people in America, some of whom didn't vote for him, most of whom did vote for him, who say drop the tweeting, you know, be presidential. And that group, which includes supporters and non-supporters, got what they wanted last night. And then there are some people who are against him, but they had to begrudgingly admit that was the tone that they were looking for in the president of the United States last night.
Now, how